And we're recording. Mindfulness for Beginners, Meditation and Stress-Free Living in Everyday Situations. Written by Stephanie White. Narrated by Kip Ferguson. And we're out. Introduction. Mindfulness, your link to the universe. Mindfulness is the secret of life. A life lived mindfully is a life lived full of peace, tranquility, joy, bliss, ecstasy, and compassion. Mindfulness is our direct link to the universe. It is the solution that we as human beings have been seeking outside ourselves since the beginning of modern times. The simple practice of mindfulness has been around for thousands of years. However, most human beings discard this approach to life and instead search for more complex and intellectual philosophies or techniques. Unfortunately, this external journey never resolves itself. There are many individuals and texts available that also complicate and overanalyze mindfulness. It seems that our ego is programmed to complicate even the simplest solutions. Mindfulness is meant to be simple, yet a profound way to live. This present-centered solution allows us to live authentic lives. Mindfulness is a specific form of meditation, or simply put, awareness of the moment. There are many different forms of meditation. However, we are going to specifically focus on mindfulness meditation, which this author believes to be the most practical and pure meditative exercise. Mindfulness involves directly participating in each moment as it occurs with complete awareness of your present experience. Life only exists in the here and now when practicing mindfulness. The moment we experience is pure and unadulterated mindfulness is a living meditation that you can practice each second of your precious life. There is no need to escape to a secluded place, as you can engage in mindfulness anywhere and at any time, no matter what is happening around you. Mindfulness liberates us from memories of the past and fantasies of the future by bringing reality of the present moment clearly into focus. They also express that mindfulness makes us aware of life's everyday miracles. In one of the ancient Buddhist commentaries, it is stated that mindfulness is presence of mind, attentiveness to present. Mindfulness is a moment-to-moment awareness of whatever arises, whatever exists. Mindfulness is having the aware, balanced acceptance of present experience. It is not more complicated than that. It is opening to or receiving the present moment, pleasant or unpleasant, just as it is, without either clinging to or rejecting it. History of mindfulness. The concept of mindfulness has origins in Eastern philosophy teachings, and it is generally associated with a practice of meditation and quiet self-reflection. You may know of common phrases that are used to describe it, such as being in the present moment, or being centered and grounded, among many other words. The art of meditation is usually taught as a solitary process and accomplished through focused breathing techniques. Mindfulness has evolved from being viewed as a strictly personal or spiritual practice, and now it is used by many organizations as an employee development strategy, as a means of reducing job dissatisfaction, increasing employee well-being, improving retention, and prompting creativity. Organizations have utilized this concept in leadership development classes as a means of helping leaders improve their decision-making process. What is mindfulness? Definition. Mindfulness is a very simple form of meditation that was little known in the West until recently. A typical meditation consists of focusing your full attention on your breath as it flows in and out of your body. Focusing on each breath in this way allows you to observe your thoughts as they arise in your mind and, little by little, to let go of struggling with them. You come to realize that thoughts come and go of their own accord, that you are not your thoughts. You can watch as they appear in your mind, seemingly from thin air, and watch again as they disappear, like a soap bubble bursting. You come to the profound understanding that thoughts and feelings, including negative ones, are transient. They come and they go, and ultimately, you have a choice about whether to act on them or not. Mindfulness is about observation without criticism. being compassionate with yourself. When unhappiness or stress hover overhead, rather than taking it all personally, you learn to treat them as if they were black clouds in the sky and to observe them with friendly curiosity as they drift past. In essence, mindfulness allows you to catch negative thought patterns before they tip you into a downward spiral. It begins the process of putting you back in control of your life. Over time, mindfulness brings about long-term changes in mood and levels of happiness and well-being. Scientific studies have shown that mindfulness not only prevents depression, but that it also positively affects the brain patterns underlying day-to-day anxiety, stress, depression, and irritability so that when they arise, they dissolve away again more easily. Other studies have shown that regular meditators see their doctors less often and spend fewer days in the hospital. Memory improves, creativity increases, and reaction time becomes faster. Myths about mindfulness and what you need to know. 1. Mindfulness is a fringe or cultish practice. Being in our lives and actually doing what we're doing isn't a weird concept. No doubt this pathway to authentic connection with our experience is older even than the Eastern religion that it's most closely associated with. While mindfulness practices are often tied to New Age spirituality, the experience itself doesn't belong to any particular religious or spiritual approach. We don't even have to label it mindfulness. Everyone has had experiences of being fully present, and the vast majority didn't involve incense, dim lights, or soft music. Mindfulness is available to everyone at any time and is as normal as breathing. 2. Mindfulness is a religious practice. Mindfulness is indeed a major part of some religious traditions. As a result, people of different faiths, or no religious faith, sometimes resist the idea of adopting this approach. However, mindfulness is often practiced apart from any religious tradition, including mystical spirituality. The practice itself does not assume or require any religious belief. At the same time, there is nothing about mindfulness that is inherently contradictory to any religious tradition. Whatever our beliefs and values, we can practice them more fully through a mindful approach. 3. Mindfulness means condoning things that are wrong. If I'm accepting of what's happening, doesn't that mean I'll put up with things I shouldn't? Many people raise this objection, thinking mindfulness means that if I'm overweight, I shouldn't try to lose weight, or that if my boss is abusive, I should just take it. Part of the problem comes from the different ways we use the word accept. Sometimes we mean, as we do in the practice of mindfulness, that I am willing to see a situation for what it is. I am not denying that reality is reality. Other times we mean we're not going to try to change something. I've accepted that I'm never going to dunk a basketball. The practice of mindfulness does not assume that inaction will follow acceptance of things as they are. Sometimes acceptance is the catalyst for change. 4. Mindfulness is weak and wishy-washy. Related to the belief that mindfulness implies never taking a stand is an association of mindfulness with weakness and being wishy-washy. This image is easy to understand if we equate fighting and resisting with strength. If we begin by thinking that mindfulness is an easy or lightweight practice, we quickly find that it's anything but easy as we work to let go of our habits of mind and behavior. Letting go is hard. It takes a lot of energy to stop fearing the future and perseverating on the past. When we practice mindfulness, we direct our strength and resolve in ways that serve us. 5. Mindfulness equals meditation. When we hear the word mindfulness, the first image that comes to mind is probably someone sitting cross-legged with their eyes closed, and for good reason. Meditation is the most common formal mindfulness practice. But while meditation is tremendously beneficial, it is just one activity during which we can focus on the present. Hammering a nail, driving a golf ball, eating a plum, holding a child, walking in the rain, arguing with a spouse, all of these activities, among infinite others, are opportunities to be mindful. How and why mindfulness works. Mindfulness is an ancient practice, one that has been around for thousands of years. Although originally grounded in Buddhist philosophy, mindfulness has since become widespread and is now practiced by individuals in all walks of life. But what exactly makes mindfulness so incredibly potent? And how can a seemingly simple practice like mindfulness create such remarkable changes across all these areas of our lives? The answers lie in a few areas. Mindfulness changes our brain. Mindfulness has the power to literally change the structure of our brains. When we practice mindfulness, areas of our brain associated with positive emotion, concentration, and empathy become more activated, while regions associated with stress and fear become inhibited. Mindfulness takes us off autopilot. All of us are prone to fall into patterns of being on autopilot from time to time, whether during our morning commute or as we wash the dishes at night. In small doses, this isn't much of a problem, but in larger degrees, this habit comes at a cost to our mental and physical health. Mindfulness enables us to become more present in our day-to-day lives and helps us to go from a state of mindless autopilot to becoming more fully alive and awakened. Mindfulness changes our relationship to our thoughts. Our thoughts have a tremendous impact on our mood and mental state. Mindfulness helps in terms of managing negative thoughts in two major ways. First, it enables us to become more aware of negative thought patterns as they emerge, thereby stopping us from spiraling deeper down into depression or anxiety. Second, it enables us to treat our thoughts as mere thoughts rather than becoming paralyzed and overwhelmed by them. When we come to view a thought as simply a thought, we disarm it rather than buy into it. Over time, mindfulness helps us to become far less troubled and distressed by the thoughts running through our head. The thoughts will still be there, but we come to see them as just that, thoughts, nothing more and nothing less. Mindfulness helps put the brakes on rumination. When we engage in rumination, we obsess over things from the past which cannot be changed, or overthink things in the future would have yet to come. Rumination is a bit like a broken record, where our mind becomes stuck playing the same song over and over again. Although rumination is an unpleasant state, mindfulness holds the power to help break this pattern by bringing us back to the present moment. So, rather than incessantly thinking about the presentation we have to deliver at work or the fight we had last night with our spouse, mindfulness allows us to find peace in the present moment. Mindfulness helps us accept reality. The ancient Chinese philosopher and poet Lao Tzu once wrote, "Life is a series of natural and spontaneous changes. Don't resist them. That only creates sorrow." Modern research confirms this notion and supports the idea that it is often to our resistance to pain rather than the pain itself that causes the bulk of our suffering. Like quicksand, the harder we struggle against reality, the more misery we find ourselves immersed in. Mindfulness offers us a different path and enables us to see and accept reality as it is rather than wish it away. Paradoxically, this sort of acceptance actually enables us to make healthy choices and change our lives. Challenges of being mindful. The greatest challenge to becoming mindful is learning how to reach a state of reflection, as it takes time and practice. It is not a state of mind that most people would think of achieving unless they were to read about it or learn about it from some other source, such as a class at work, a friend, etc. Try it out and realize how it can be of benefit to them. The word mindfulness itself may also seem to be out there for some people. Yet the challenge for many students is getting them to actually stop all activities for any period of time, especially for those students who closely monitor their social networking websites. Students often tell me they can multitask effectively, but their concentration is never fully focused, no matter how hard they try. There are many well-documented benefits for the use of a regular time of quiet reflection, and it includes stress and anxiety reduction, lowered blood pressure, and improved overall well-being. It can also help to improve emotional intelligence as a person becomes more aware of what they are feeling and the emotions they are experiencing. There is also an improved sense of self with this level of awareness and a general feeling of balance. For students, learning to concentrate and improve their focus helps them with other aspects that are critical for their success. For example, they often become more organized and manage their time more effectively. They are encouraged to take time to reflect on their habits of thought and patterns of productivity, especially if they want to improve their performance, and this new self-awareness does serve them well. Benefits of mindfulness. Mindfulness allows you to relate to and deal directly with whatever is happening in your life instead of struggling to escape, suppress, or avoid distressing thoughts and feelings. Mindfulness helps you approach whatever is going on in your life, in your thoughts, and with your emotions without becoming overwhelmed. When you start being more mindful and start living in the present moment, you'll experience your life more fully and become more in touch with yourself, who you are, what is important to you, and what you want out of life. Depression, anxiety, stress, self-esteem. If you're struggling with depression, anxiety, stress, or low self-esteem, mindfulness-based counseling and therapy can help you slow down your mind and deal with racing thoughts and negative thinking, regrets, worries, and fears. Mindfulness will help you calm your emotions and transform painful feelings, handle change and uncertainty, and long and short-term stress. Personal growth and exploration. Sometimes when people come for counseling or therapy, they're not sure what's wrong. They just know that things aren't right. If you're feeling stuck in your life or struggling with a lack of direction or meaning, mindfulness-based counseling and therapy can help you get in touch with your inner wisdom and intuition and open yourself up to insights about yourself and your life. Mindfulness encourages personal growth through greater self-knowledge and understanding, self-awareness and self-acceptance, which leads to a more fulfilling and satisfying life. Other benefits of mindfulness. Some of the other benefits associated with mindfulness include increased ability to relax and improved sleep, enhanced sense of well-being, greater energy and enthusiasm for life, improved concentration and problem-solving, greater satisfaction in personal relationships, becoming less judgmental and treating others with greater acceptance, decreases in medical symptoms such as chronic pain and high blood pressure, and improved immune function and resilience. How to practice mindfulness, starting out. You are probably familiar with the 4 stages of learning in the model of conscious competence, namely unconscious incompetence, conscious incompetence, conscious competence, unconscious competence, or autopilot. Moving through the 4 stages of learning how to practice mindfulness takes time, effort, and application, and is no different to learning any other new skill. Getting the hang of the basics of any new skill takes approximately 3 weeks or so of continuous conscious effort, at which point the new skill becomes a habit. The best way to start the process of learning how to practice mindfulness is to undertake a sitting meditation every day for approximately 30 minutes or maybe 2 sessions of 15 minutes. Sit in silence and somewhere where you won't be interrupted. Turn your mobile phone off. Just sit comfortably in an upright position. Take several slow, deep breaths and focus on your breathing in and your breathing out. Then, just pay attention to your thoughts. Don't engage with them. Don't analyze them. Just observe them. If you feel yourself getting drawn into your thoughts, gently bring your attention back to your breath and focus on your in-breath and your out-breath for a few breaths and return to just watching your thoughts. Watching your thoughts is like watching clouds pass across the sky. They come into your line of vision, drift across the sky, and fade away. Breathe. Do this every day for 3 weeks. Notice and observe your reactions as you prepare to do your daily sitting meditation. Don't analyze this. Just be aware of your reactions. Observe your reactions after you have finished your meditation. And again, don't analyze or think about it. Simply observe or witness it. After a few sessions of sitting meditation, take it one small step further and just watch your thoughts during the day. Make it a habit to observe your reactions, your thought patterns, your recurring thoughts, and differing emotional states at different times throughout the day. When you feel yourself getting sucked into a pattern of thoughts or emotional responses, bring your attention to your breathing and just focus on your in-breath and your out-breath for several breaths. Keep watching and observing. Be aware of your thoughts and feelings. Mindfulness, a supernatural therapy for keeping away all stress and anxiety. A successful life is all about one's attitude, thoughts, and outlook in the process of manifestation, because life behaves us like the way we want, we speak, and the way we firmly believe. The biggest culprit is a mind that disrupts our life from taking us out of the existential moment. The man behaves exactly what he had experienced from the past, and his mind is known to the situation, so it is vital to keep your mind, mindfulness, to achieve peace and success in life. Mindfulness. Different people have a different understanding of the term. Some say that this is an art of meditation, very much accepted in the Western countries, while some believe this is as a magic to change the life in an optimistic and affirmative manner. However, the main function is to bring positivity in life and reduces pain, destructive behavior, depression, anxiety, emotional reaction, as well as the mind stress. The Buddha put his statement that to speak or act with a poor mind is to draw happiness after oneself like an inseparable shadow. This proclamation is enough to understand the concept of the conscious mind that can awaken with the help of the mindfulness exercises. Mindfulness creations have adopted the concept of a conscious mind in their core and spirit, thus creates a mindful change network to help others in bringing positivity and creativity in one's lifestyle. To bring clarity in the society, several aspiring methods are implemented, like the Acceptance Commitment Therapy, Self-Enhancement Guide, Mindful Meditation App, Mindfulness Quotes, the Inspirational Articles, and many other effective tools. This network helps people to understand and answer the world's most unknown question, i.e., what is mindfulness, how it influences one's life and recuperates from the tough feelings of depression, anxiety, or stress. Might be the answer varies from person to person and their overall experience with the mindfulness. However, all found to have the same feeling is about the peace, joy, and happiness. To encourage people for the mindful change and the self-growth is the main motive that lays behind these mindfulness practices. The best instance is the acceptance commitment theory, which is specially designed and implemented for the mindfulness for teens. It considers all the vital facts required for making the impression on their mental state. It helps them to grasp and implement relevant elements quickly and easily. The therapy is proven as the most beneficial treatment for teens in order to reduce the depression and stress. The process enhances the thought of awareness and ensures conscious mind, independent thinking, as well as the mind intuitions. The best thing is that it allows us to study the consciousness, and the therapy starts with studying own conscious or subconscious mind state. The subconscious mind has enormous value as it warms, inspires, and furnishes us with the memory of the brain. Mindfulness is an art of controlling the mind from the unruly, indisciplined to the calm witness. It helps to remain mindful under all diverse conditions. It also provides us protection from over-involvement and ensures the feeling of joy and peace in terms of physical as well as spiritual satisfaction. Tips for everyday mindfulness. Drink a glass of water slowly and observe the temperature of the water. See how the glass feels in your hand and the sensation of the water on your tongue. Try walking at a slower pace than your usual speed. Observe the sensations that arise from that. If you're in familiar landscape, you may notice something new, or a feeling of impatience may arise as you want to reach your destination more quickly. If you are waiting in a queue or a traffic jam, try observing your breathing. Maybe count 5 breaths in through the nose. Is the breath shallow or deep, fast or slow? As you are sitting right now, try to observe how your buttocks feel against the chair. Practicing mindfulness, the critical shortcut to success. Success is really important in life, irrespective of whether you have a business or a job. Though honing your skills, strategies, and practices will definitely provide success, the most important factor that truly affects or brings success is what is within you. Living in the present rather than in the past or the future has always ensured a better life, and this is one aspect that is true for your business or profession as well. Mindfulness is a habit or technique that allows you to actually live and breathe in the present, where you are able to observe all the factors related to the present, be it a smell, thought, sound, emotion, taste, or just about anything. What makes mindfulness truly spectacular is the fact that you can actually observe these factors around you without judgment or attachment, making it a critical element for your overall success. Practicing the habit of mindfulness is not easy because it is achievable only if you approach it systematically and regularly. However, it is obvious that practicing this simple technique is definitely advantageous for your overall growth, development, and success. Here are some of the important benefits of this technique, which also helps you realize why it is so important for your success. Reduces stress. Most of our problems are often exacerbated by stress, which is inbuilt. Reducing the amount of stress that we deal with on a daily basis and looking at the factors that aggravate this stress from a distance can actually help you understand how to overcome it, whilst also facilitating you to realize how to use it to your advantage. This is where the practice of mindfulness comes into play, as it can help reduce stress by allowing you to become calm and think about your day in a planned manner. Increases awareness of self and empathy for self. When working in our routine lives, we are often not aware of the various traits and habits that we display, which may or may not work in our favor. Mindfulness helps you understand yourself better, which in turn lets you control behavior that is not really helping you. You may often be your worst critic, and through mindfulness, you can learn to empathize with yourself without falling prey to a victim syndrome. Mindfulness simply refuses to allow you to judge or blame yourself, given that these are extremely negative to your overall success. Helps listen and engage in a better way. In business or profession, it is important to truly listen to others, which is something that people often forget to do for various reasons. Mindfulness not only helps you listen better, but also transforms you into an individual who can actually engage better with the team or others in any group, making it a truly successful partnership. Increases clarity of thought and focus. Another important benefit of mindfulness is that it helps increase clarity of thought as well as focus, given that you are actually looking only at the present. Practicing mindfulness has several other benefits, all of which are crucial to your success. It is, however, up to you to give this practice a try and help it benefit you. At the same time, it is equally important to understand that maximum benefit comes with practice, and you can't expect any magic to happen overnight. How to become happier using mindfulness. The pace of life seems to be getting quicker all the time. There seems to be less time to do things, yet many of us are still trying to achieve more and to fit more into each day. For others, the speed of life is what is happening to other people. Our brains are working just as frantically, and for some, this becomes a problem. Many people continually repeat in their minds things that they are experiencing. Dwelling on the past like this is quite common. It only becomes a problem for those people not equipped to deal with the emotional pressures that the mind can sometimes generate or cause. Emotions can manifest themselves physically. That is, we can feel them physically. For example, happiness, anxiety, anger, frustration, etc. can all be felt in our bodies. It therefore becomes important to be aware of what we are feeling and why we are feeling this way. Self-awareness is an important characteristic, particularly when making critical decisions. If we do not feel in control of ourselves, how are we going to be able to control or influence the path of our own lives? However, too much self-awareness can be limiting. It can cause us to be overcautious when we need to take action, thus inhibiting our ability to progress or achieve, or in some cases, survive. How do we get the balance right? If we borrow from the teaching of Zen Buddhism, there is a concept called mindfulness. In essence, it involves being present in the moment without passing judgments on the experience. Yes, simple enough in words, but the practice of it takes some practice, so to speak. Mindfulness requires self-discipline. It works by observing what is happening in our mind and around us, and by focusing on the moment we are experiencing without passing any judgment and without applying any subjective thoughts and feelings. You can give it a try from now. Next time you meet with someone you know, try to see them anew. View them without your existing knowledge of them, and without your existing perceptions and opinions. You can try this on family, friends, colleagues, or adversaries. The origins of why our minds are judgmental can be found in the times when we needed to be able to make instant decisions when faced with danger. These were the original fight or flight decisions, where a delay could be fatal. In present times, we still form judgments as good, bad, or neutral, the good and bad creating the most attention. Mindfulness is about observing all things with equal attention, but without passing judgment. It's much like seeing the world again for the first time. One of the greatest benefits of mindfulness is in your own personal contentment and achievement. This comes from knowing whether you are thinking unhelpful, destructive, or unrealistic thoughts, and by learning to suspend judgment. Many of the negative thoughts we have when we are emotionally upset tend to be distorted. Let them go, knowing that they are symptoms of a particular state of mind, and therefore unhelpful. Thoughts and emotions work hand in hand with one another. We need to be objective in our understanding of them. Then we will start to feel better about things. If we can be more aware of our thoughts when we feel depressed, then we will be able to recognize them as just that, thoughts, not facts. As we become more familiar with the negative aspects of our emotions, we will then be better equipped to deal with our negative thoughts. Mindfulness can be practiced daily in all situations, which in turn will aid the appreciation of so much more of life's pleasures. Mindfulness exercises, the practice of being aware. There are wide ranges of ways of practicing mindfulness, but the key thing you need to take on board is to just do it and keep doing it. Your mind and your ego will resist, and you will want to become more informed about it and will want to read yet another book on mindfulness. The human mind loves to make this simple thing so complicated. Yet mindfulness is called a practice for a good reason. Your mind will get bored and want to be entertained, distracted, and engaged. That's what minds do, and that's why they are sometimes referred to as monkey minds. If you want to learn mindfulness exercises, just be mindful. Focus your attention. Focus your mind 100% on whatever it is that you are doing right now in this present moment. Mindfulness exercises can be divided into activity-based exercises and observational exercises. Both types of exercise can be undertaken in groups or on your own. Typical activity-based mindfulness practices include walking, physical exercises or Tai Chi, eating, undertaking routine household domestic chores, undertaking outdoor tasks, gardening, clearing land, raising crops, Typical observational mindfulness exercises include breathing, body awareness, and deep relaxation, sitting meditation, mindful silence, mindful listening, putting it into practice. There is a great benefit in undertaking some of these mindfulness exercises with other people who are doing the same practice. This might be just one other person or as part of a wider practice group. There is a stronger energy to the activity if it is undertaken with others, and this can be very encouraging and helpful in your own practice of mindfulness. However, the real work is done on your own, and this is largely falling into two categories. One, formal practice. This is where you apply regular focused attention to one or two mindfulness exercises at a time until you have mastered them, and they have become habits. As with the acquisition of any new skill, this requires self-discipline, persistence, and consistency. Just be mindful. Focus your attention, focus your mind 100% on whatever it is that you are doing right now in this present moment. 2. Integration practice. This is when you take your newly acquired mindfulness skills and apply them at different times of the day. This may be a situation-specific practice when, for example, you get into a frequently occurring situation, such as heavy traffic or an interaction with a partner or work colleague who irritates you. Applying mindfulness in relationship situations can be very instructive and very powerful, and over time, you can change negative and destructive aspects of some relationships. Practicing mindfulness and its benefits with simple techniques for busy schedules. The world can be a stressful place. Relationships, jobs, and juggling long lists of errands every day can leave people exhausted mentally and emotionally. Learning to handle stress through the use of mindfulness meditation is the key to staying calm in hectic times and dealing with what life throws at us. Practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness meditation can be done anywhere, but finding a quiet place makes it easier when you first begin. Sit comfortably. Begin focusing on each part of your body, beginning with your feet. Tighten the muscle and hold it for a few seconds before moving on to your legs and upper body. Feel the tension lessening as you release. Work your way up to your hands and arms. When you have finished, focus on your breathing. One breathing technique that is helpful is to breathe in for 6 seconds. Hold the air in your lungs 6 seconds. Exhale for 6 seconds. Hold the breath out of your lungs for 6 seconds and repeat. The goal of these beginning exercises is to quiet the mind by putting all of your focus on something else. Next, find a word or phrase that is calming to you, such as inner peace. Repeat the word in your mind or say it aloud if you wish. Your mind might wander, and that is all right. Gently bring your thoughts back to the phrase. Pay attention to how you feel when certain thoughts cross through. Are they uncomfortable? Do they help you in any way? If they are causing despair or anxiety, then consider why for a moment, and then let them go. The point of mindfulness is to begin to control your thoughts and feelings instead of letting them control you. These mindfulness techniques are simple, convenient, and effective. These can be used anywhere at any time to battle the daily stress we all encounter. Deep breathing. One of the best mindfulness techniques used in stress management is deep breathing. Something that can be done at work or home. It simply involves breathing from the stomach and making sure you inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Not only will the physical act of deep breathing help to slow down your heart rate and keep the stress hormones in check, but it will also help clear the mind by letting you focus on the breathing itself. By closing your eyes and concentrating on the sound and rhythm of the breathing, you can calm down very quickly. The sound of music. While music can soothe the savage beast, it can also be very therapeutic physically and emotionally. Whether it's classical music from Beethoven or the latest pop hit from the Billboard charts, music has been proven to be a great stress reliever. By focusing on the sounds and vibrations of each note and the feelings they generate within you, it's possible to clear out any negative thoughts you may be experiencing and replace them with positive ones. House cleaning. The great thing about this technique is that you accomplish two things at the same time. Not only do you clear your mind and focus only on what's happening at the moment, but you also get a clean house in the process. This is considered a great mindfulness technique because you can focus on so many different aspects. For example, when you are filling a box full of items to donate to charity, you can focus on clearing out the clutter in your own mind. If you're washing dishes, you can focus on how the warm, soapy water feels as you wash each dish, or let the vibrations from a vacuum cleaner soothe your mind. Mindfulness meditation and other practices. Mindfulness can be cultivated through mindfulness meditation, a systematic method of focusing your attention. You can learn to meditate on your own, following instructions in books or on tape. However, you may benefit from the support of an instructor or group to answer questions and help you stay motivated. Look for someone using meditation in a way compatible with your beliefs and goals. If you have a medical condition, you may prefer a medically oriented program that incorporates meditation. Ask your physician or hospital about local groups. Insurance companies increasingly cover the cost of meditation instruction. Getting started on your own. Some types of meditation primarily involve concentration, repeating a phrase, or focusing on the sensation of breathing, allowing the parade of thoughts that inevitably arise to come and go. Concentration meditation techniques, as well as other activities such as Tai Chi or yoga, can induce the well-known relaxation response, which is very valuable in reducing the body's response to stress. Mindfulness meditation builds upon concentration practices. Here's how it works. 1. Go with the flow. In mindfulness meditation, once you establish concentration, you observe the flow of inner thoughts, emotions, and bodily sensations without judging them as good or bad. 2. Pay attention. You also notice external sensations, such as sounds, sights, and touch that make up your moment-to-moment experience. The challenge is not to latch on to a particular idea, emotion, or sensation, or to get caught in thinking about the past or the future. Instead, you watch what comes and goes in your mind and discover which mental habits produce a feeling of well-being or suffering. 3. Stay with it. At times, this process may not seem relaxing at all, but over time, it provides a key to greater happiness and self-awareness as you become comfortable with a wider and wider range of your experiences. Practice acceptance. Above all, mindfulness practice involves accepting whatever arises in your awareness at each moment. It involves being kind and forgiving toward yourself. Some tips to keep in mind. Gently redirect. If your mind wanders into planning, daydreaming, or criticism, notice where it has gone and gently redirect it to sensations in the present. Try and try again. If you miss your intended meditation session, simply start again. By practicing accepting your experience during meditation, it becomes easier to accept whatever comes your way during the rest of your day. Cultivate mindfulness informally. In addition to formal meditation, you can also cultivate mindfulness informally by focusing your attention on your moment-to-moment sensations during everyday activities. This is done by single tasking, doing one thing at a time and giving it your full attention. As you floss your teeth, pet the dog, or eat an apple, slow down the process and be fully present as it unfolds and involves all of your senses. Mindfulness exercises. If mindfulness meditation appeals to you, going to a class or listening to a meditation tape can be a good way to start. In the meantime, here are 2 mindfulness exercises you can try on your own. Basic mindfulness meditation. This exercise teaches basic mindfulness meditation. 1. Sit on a straight-backed chair or cross-legged on the floor. 2. Focus on an aspect of your breathing, such as the sensations of air flowing into your nostrils and out of your mouth, or your belly rising and falling as you inhale and exhale. 3. Once you've narrowed your concentration in this way, begin to widen your focus. Become aware of sounds, sensations, and your ideas. 4. Embrace and consider each thought or sensation without judging it, good or bad. If your mind starts to race, return your focus to your breathing. Then expand your awareness again, learning to stay in the present. A less formal approach to mindfulness can also help you to stay in the present and fully participate in your life. You can choose any task or moment to practice informal mindfulness, whether you're eating, showering, walking, touching a partner, or playing with a child or grandchild. Attending to these points will help. 1. Start by bringing your attention to the sensations in your body. 2. Breathe in through your nose, allowing the air downward into your lower belly. Let your abdomen expand fully. 3. Now breathe out through your mouth. 4. Notice the sensations of each inhalation and exhalation. 5. Proceed with the task at hand, slowly and with full deliberation. 6. Engage your senses fully. Notice each sight, touch, and sound so that you savor every sensation. 7. When you notice that your mind has wandered from the task at hand, gently bring your attention back to the sensations of the moment. Invest in yourself. The effects of mindfulness meditation tend to be dose-related. The more you do, the more effect it usually has. Most people find that it takes at least 20 minutes for the mind to begin to settle, so this is a reasonable way to start. Through developing mindfulness, we can start to enjoy a better quality of life. Being mindful can help us to deal with stressful situations in a calm and clearer way as we become less immersed in our thoughts. Interactions with others can become richer as we take a step back from our old habit patterns, stop reacting, and start observing. Mindfulness can lessen or even prevent depression and anxiety, as well as enabling people to become free of addiction. Often we can find ourselves wrapped up in thoughts, be they pleasant or unpleasant. Thoughts of past events can make us sad, angry, or regretful, and take us away from what is actually happening in the here and now, adversely affecting our moods. We can easily get caught up in the fantasies about other people or visions of our ideal or terrifying future. Being mindful can help us to distance ourselves from these thoughts and allow us to be fully available to life as it is in the present moment. Practicing mindfulness. Like any other skill, mindfulness takes practice to develop. It can be very frustrating at times as you become more aware of the mind's ability to run away with itself and pull you along with it, away from the here and now. But with some openness and dedication, the benefits will become apparent and your life can improve dramatically. This is not a quick fix or a way to change the world, but an opportunity to see things as they are by building awareness and beginning to experience your mind and body in a new way. As Socrates said, know thyself. Mindfulness exercise for beginners. Mindfulness of the breath. Our breath serves as a perfect instrument to accomplish this goal. Our breath is always with us, operating automatically. For 24 hours a day, for every day of our lives, our breath is there like a trusted companion. Wherever we are and whomever we are with, we can always turn to the breath as a means of grounding ourselves in the present moment. Because of this, our breath will be the focus of our first mindfulness meditation. Instructions. Begin by finding a comfortable, peaceful place to sit. Set aside around 10 minutes to start with, though you can extend this as you wish in the days to come. Sit down in a manner that's comfortable, either in a chair or on the ground. Keep your back straight, allowing your shoulders to relax. Close your eyes or choose a spot on the floor in front of you to focus your gaze. 1. Begin by taking 3 easy and gentle breaths in through your nose, followed by slow and steady exhales. With each breath, feel yourself slowing down and becoming more immersed in the moment. 2. If you notice your mind wandering or your thoughts drifting, simply notice this and return your attention and awareness to your breath. You may notice your mind wandering at many points during this meditation. It's simply what our mind does. Merely observe this tendency and without judgment, return your awareness to your breathing. 3. Bring full attention now to your breathing. As you inhale and exhale, observe where in your body you notice your breath the most. Perhaps it's in your chest, as you feel it rise and fall with each breath. Others notice their breath most strongly in their nostrils, as the air passes coolly on the way in and slightly warmer on the way out. Still, others notice the breath most clearly in their stomach and abdomen as it rises and falls with each passing breath. Wherever it is, take a moment to simply notice where the breath is most clearly felt in your body. 4. Notice how it feels to fully focus on your inhale. As you inhale, notice any particular feelings of tension or strain, and notice the sensation of your lungs and abdomen filling up as you inhale. 5. Now, gently shift your awareness to focus more on your exhale. With each exhale, notice what it's like to feel your breath passing out through your nostrils, and observe, without judgment, anything that you feel in your body. 6. For the next few minutes, continue to breathe gently and evenly. Feel the breath as it comes in through your nose, followed by a steady exhale. 7. Notice what's happening in your mind. If you notice your mind wandering or your thoughts drifting, don't judge yourself or react self-critically. Simply notice this and gently redirect your attention and awareness back to your breathing. 8. After 10 minutes, gently open your eyes and bring your awareness back to your surroundings. Allow yourself to bask in the comfort and tranquility of the present moment. For beginners in mindfulness, this exercise can either be eye-opening or frustrating. You may have noticed your mind becoming flooded with thoughts or judgments, and that's okay. It's our mind's natural tendency to drift and seek out stimulation, and maintaining focused awareness on the breath may feel unnatural initially, but through practice and patience, it becomes easier over time. With practice, you'll even grow to find immense comfort and safety in your breath, which you can turn to whenever you want. Mindfulness exercise, raisin meditation. One of the remarkable powers of mindfulness exercises is their ability to transform the mundane into something incredible. As earlier discussed, our tendency to operate on autopilot much of the time with little conscious awareness of what's happening in the moment. We drive to work, but have little memory afterwards of how we got from point A to point B. We read a page in a book, but then have to reread it because our mind was elsewhere the whole time. And we polish off our favorite meal, only to realize that we barely took time to savor the experience. In this exercise, we'll harness the power of mindfulness to begin shutting off our autopilot and more fully connecting to the present moment. To do so, we'll start with an activity that all of us do every day, eating. But rather than eating an entire meal in a mindful manner, we're going to start with a much humbler goal, eating a single raisin. To begin with, set aside around 10 minutes of time when you can be undisturbed and alone. You'll need a few raisins for this activity, or if you prefer, any other dried fruit can substitute. In addition, it is recommended to take a few moments afterwards to write down any reactions you have to the exercise and what you learned from it. Instructions. To begin with, take 5 to 10 minutes in a quiet place. Ensure that you'll have no distractions. Be sure to turn off your phone, shut off the television, and put aside anything else that might take away your attention. For the next few minutes, you'll be doing something that you do every day, eating, but in a different way than usual. Your intention will be to eat a raisin in a mindful manner, fully immersed in the experience. 1. Begin by taking a raisin and placing it in the palm of your hand. Glance down at it, pretending for a moment that you've never seen anything like it before. Alternate between holding the raisin in your hand and placing it between your forefinger and thumb to more fully feel its texture. Notice the weight of the raisin as it rests in your hand. 2. Now, take a moment to really see the raisin, paying particular attention to its subtle details. With full attention and awareness, notice the texture of the raisin and the shadow it casts on your palm. Notice its ridges and the particular colors it contains. 3. Placing the raisin between your fingers, now observe all of its textures with even more awareness. How does it feel to brush your fingers over the raisin? Feel the ridges on its surface. 4. Now, bring the raisin up towards your nose. As you inhale, simply notice any smells or scents that you detect. Or, if you cannot detect a scent, simply notice that as well. without judgment. 5. Slowly take the raisin and place it gently in your mouth. Observe what happens with your mouth when you do. Perhaps you'll find yourself salivating or notice your tongue reaching out towards the raisin as you place it in your mouth. Before chewing, simply notice whatever sensations come up in your mouth now that you've placed the raisin on your tongue. 6. Take a single bite into the raisin and notice how doing so affects your mouth and tongue. Notice the different textures that you can now pick up on when you're ready. Continue to slowly chew the raisin. But before swallowing, again, simply notice all that's occurring right now in your mouth, mind, and body. 7. When you're ready, swallow the raisin and continue to observe any feelings, reactions, thoughts, and emotions that come up for you as you do. Without judgment, bring full awareness to whatever is happening inside of you and take a minute to merely sit with those reactions with your eyes closed. People have all sorts of reactions to the raisin meditation. For some, it's an eye-opening experience in that it demonstrates how a simple activity, eating a raisin, can be transformed into something far more meaningful. For others, it feels foreign to eat a raisin in this manner and can even feel uncomfortable. Whatever your reactions may be, take a moment to simply notice them and write down some quick thoughts about the exercise. Mindfulness exercise every day. Mindfulness instructions. Begin by reflecting on a handful of activities that you engage in each week, but which you often do in a mindless manner. Common examples include walking the dog, taking a shower, brushing your teeth, cleaning the sink, eating breakfast, loading or unloading the dishwasher, driving to work, or walking to the mailbox. For the next week, choose one of these activities to focus on each day. You don't have to change the way you do them, such as by slowing down, but rather you'll be changing your level of focus and awareness. Using the lessons learned from the raisin meditation, engage in one activity each day in a more mindful and present manner. Use all of your senses to fully engage in the activity, rather than rushing through it or drifting elsewhere in your thoughts. For example, while brushing your teeth, you might pay particular attention to the sensations of the toothbrush against your teeth and gums, the flavor of the toothpaste, and how your tongue reacts. You might notice any scents and observe how your mouth salivates while you brush. Mindfulness exercise, mindfulness of the senses. This next mindfulness exercise builds on the mindfulness of the breath earlier practice, but broadens the practice to increase awareness through our senses. Much like the breath, we can use our various senses, sight, touch, taste, smell, and hearing, to more fully immerse ourselves in the present moment. Instructions. Begin by finding a comfortable, peaceful place to sit. Set aside around 10 minutes to start with, though you can extend this as you wish in the days to come. Sit down in a manner that's comfortable, either in a chair or on the ground. Keep your back straight, allowing your shoulders to relax. Close your eyes or choose a spot on the floor in front of you to focus your gaze. 1. Begin by taking 3 easy and gentle breaths in through your nose, followed by slow and steady exhales. With each breath, feel yourself slowing down and becoming more immersed in the moment. 2. If you notice your mind wandering or your thoughts drifting, simply notice this and return your attention and awareness to your breath. You may notice your mind wandering at many points during the meditation. It's simply what our mind does. Merely observe this tendency and without judgment, return your awareness to your breathing. 3. Bring full attention now to your breathing. Notice the sensations of the breath entering and leaving your body. With each breath, observe yourself becoming more present in the moment. 4. Now, shift your attention to the sounds around you. Notice the sound of your breath, slowly in and slowly out. Notice the sounds around you, even the faintest of sounds, and notice the silence. Imagine your ears as satellites, able to pick up on any sounds around you. Simply notice these things without judgment and without any desire for things to be different than they are. 5. Bring your awareness now to any smells you detect. As you inhale, observe any scents, strong or faint, that your nose picks up on. Again, simply notice this without judgment. 6. Shift your focus now to feeling your body, sitting on the floor or on your chair. Notice the weight of your body being supported. Become aware of the fabric of your clothing against your skin and the temperature of the air against your skin. Notice your hands and where they're resting. 7. Now bring your awareness to any tastes you detect in your mouth, whether faint or strong. Simply observe any taste that you can pick up on, or if you cannot, simply notice that as well. 8. With your eyes closed, imagine what the room looks like around you. Paint a picture in your mind's eye of what surrounds you in this moment. Imagine what's on the walls and what's at your feet. Visualize the colors of the room and where you sit. 9. Now notice what's happening in your mind. Are your thoughts glancing back towards the past, forwards towards the future, or are they here in the present? If you notice your mind wandering or your thoughts drifting, don't judge yourself or react self-critically. Simply notice this and gently redirect your attention and awareness back to your breathing and to your senses. 10. After 10 minutes, gently open your eyes and bring your awareness back to your surroundings. Allow yourself to bask in the comfort and tranquility of the present moment. Mindfulness exercise, a mindful minute. There are some days when even finding 10 minutes to set aside for mindfulness is difficult, let alone a half hour. For those occasions, it's useful to take just a few moments to cultivate mindfulness and become fully present in the moment. This next mindfulness exercise invites you to do just that. Instructions. In our busy world, it's important to take the time to slow down and become one with the present moment. When you're feeling stressed, try taking a minute to slow down and cultivate mindful awareness, whether you are at the office or in your car, and whether you're standing up or sitting down. This exercise can be done virtually anywhere. All you need is a minute of silence. You can close your eyes if you'd like, though you don't have to. For the next minute, put aside whatever you're doing and focus on the following. 1. Feel your breath coming in and out of your nose. Feel your breath as it fills up your chest and lungs, and notice it as it releases on your exhale. 2. Use your senses to notice what's happening around you. Hear the sounds around you and feel the temperature of the air against your skin. 3. Observe whatever emotions and thoughts are within you right now. Just notice them without judgment and without any desire to change them. 4. Notice when your mind drifts, but bring it back each time to your breath. 5. When you're ready, open your eyes and come back to the room. Thanks again for buying my book. If you have a minute, please leave a review. I take reviews seriously and always look at them. This way, you are helping me provide you better content that you will love in the future. A review doesn't have to be long, just 1 or 2 sentences and a number of stars you find appropriate. Hopefully 5, of course. Also, if I think your review is useful, I will mark it as helpful. This will help you become more known on Amazon as a decent reviewer and will ensure that more authors will contact you with free ebooks in the future. This is how we can help each other. Written by Stephanie White. Narrated by Kip Ferguson. Copyright 2018 by Stephanie White. Production copyright 2018 by Stephanie White.